Maine Secretary of State has appealed a decision by a Maine Superior Court judge in the ongoing battle to keep former President Donald Trump off the Republican primary ballot.
Bellows' appeal comes after a judge paused the decision to have Trump excluded from the primary ballot pending a U.S. Supreme Court ruling.
In a statement released today, Bellows says, quote, "In the interim, Maine law provides the opportunity to seek review from the Maine Supreme Judicial Court, which I requested today."
Going on to say, "I know both the constitutional and state authority questions are of grave concern to many. This appeal ensures that Maine's highest court has the opportunity to weigh in now before ballots are counted, promoting trust in our free, safe, and secure elections." You can read her full statement on our website.